Hello friends, it's David Miller talking to you in my studio, Primordial Creative, Phoenix, Arizona multimedia artist. I want to talk a little bit more about this Polaroid Lab thing I got last year, because one of the cool features that you can only do through the Polaroid Lab is you can introduce augmented reality to your instant film images. If you know a little bit about augmented reality, you might think it's kind of a gimmicky thing where you're putting, Pokemon in a landscape or something like that. But I've had a few months to think about this, and I haven't done a whole lot with it up until this point. But this is a way of introducing secret messages, secret themes to the work that you make on instant film, and it can be a message shared between you and like one other person who you allow access to your augmented reality archive. It can be a message that anyone with the Polaroid app can view. It's really up to you. You're gonna control who sees these secret augmented reality messages that go in your images. But I think the best way that we can explore what you could do with this function is to just dive right in, make ourselves some Polaroids with our phones, and the Polaroid Lab, introduce augmented reality into each one. Let's hit it. The photos I have chosen to work with for this project are of a New York City model named Cacia Zoo. I've shot Cacia a few times over the years, and these photos of her dancing were taken in a park in Brooklyn. And then the material that I'm going to embed within the photos as augmented reality are kind of unique because they are stills from a video that we shot in 2015. And then I've been remixing this video over the years. I was working on a music video project and went back to this video, did some messing around with the video layers, and ended up with some images I thought were pretty cool. So I pulled them as screenshots. As long as we're using new technology, I felt like embedding an image that was very surreal and strange. When you are doing the augmented reality process, it's going to upload your embedded image or video to Polaroid Originals website so anyone can view it with their phone. It's also going to place this little code in the corner that might ruin the aesthetic of the original image for you. I totally understand if you're a purist. My way around it is you simply need to make art that embraces new technology and barcodes. And I'm using black and white, so it doesn't stand out like it would if the subject matter were animals, nature, so on and so forth. The final step to my process is once the Polaroid has come out of the Polaroid Lab, I like to bend the edges just to give some odd chemical flaring. I want to watch out for bending around the barcode because if I did that, then I would ruin the Polaroid Originals app ability to read that barcode. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put all my chemical alterations on the other edges on the center of the Polaroid. Hope that barcode stays intact. So the method of introducing augmented reality imagery to your Polaroids is done entirely in the app. If you don't have a Polaroid Lab, you're probably not aware that you need to use a Polaroid Originals app on your phone to open an image, have it on your screen, place your phone directly on the top of the Polaroid Lab, and then it's going to read it in this little square area here. This is the opportunity you have to introduce some kind of extra image within your Polaroid. And that extra image will only be viewed through that same Polaroid Originals app. If I did a gallery show of this stuff and every single Polaroid I had on the walls had an augmented reality image embedded in it, then anyone who wanted to see those in the gallery show needs to have this app already preloaded onto their phone. And I know that sounds kind of gimmicky and like it sucks because they'd have to have the app already there. And if they don't have Wi-Fi, they might not have a good opportunity to download it. I will say that one of my favorite bands, U2, made a really good use of augmented reality on one of their recent tours. Their opening song, Love Is All We Have Left, involved this illusionary Bono that crept out over the audience, and anyone who had the app preloaded on their phone at the concert saw it. People who didn't quite get it, or they could look on their neighbor's phone. It's a cool thing you can do with technology, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of harkens back to the era of invisible ink or some sort of coding, something that my kids would get into from Gravity Falls, some kind of scavenger hunt. I feel like most artwork already has some sort of encoded secret message to it, whether they're talking to a particular subculture, whether they're using graphic design elements that only some people understand, whether they're using coded language. And this really isn't that different. It's only a gimmick if you do something stupid with it, is my approach to new technology. If you do something cool with it, or you do something that fundamentally revolves around a real concept that people have to deal with in their daily life, then it's worth exploring. And so these were my preliminary images with the augmented reality function of the Polaroid Originals app. I hope to make something grander and cooler in the future, and I'm really still hoping that I get that gallery show of Polaroids where people go through and view it through their phone, even though that sounds contrary to a museum gallery experience where somebody uses their real eyes to look at real artwork. That is the kind of unique modern experience I'm personally looking for when I present my work in public. I'm way beyond putting squares and rectangles on walls and having people just stare at them. I want to have some kind of mental interaction, and if that's going to use somebody's phone, if that's going to use augmented reality with this cool device, then by all means, that's what I'm going to do. So, hope you feel a little bit inspired in your own creativity. I felt like doing this video, even though I've reviewed and praised this particular device, the Polaroid Lab, in the past. I felt like there's other things you can do with it, and there's reasons to have it beyond being able to mass produce Polaroids. And augmented reality is one of the unique things that you can do with this that you're really not going to be able to do any other way.